What's good, y'all? It's your man's B-Phil. We back again. We got a lot of energy today, y'all. I don't know why, but I had a very fascinating dream about a very old story of my life. And it made me go, oh my. No, it didn't make me go anything. I was going to say, oh my gosh. I don't do it very well. Sorry, y'all, for yelling in your ear. My bad. All right, I just want to show y'all this real quick. Check these notes out. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? These are my notes. And so when I'm looking at this, look at all of these thoughts. Really, these are daily notes. And so I guess technically they're orphans, but they don't connect to anything useful. This is my brain, y'all. This is my brain. It's crazy, huh? Look at this. So I do have some stuff that connects. See? Look at that. I have some stuff that connects together. But for the most part, boom. Look at all that. Just floating in space. Doing no references, no nothing. Got to change that, y'all. I got to go back and I got to start connecting these thoughts together. Connecting them together to make some crazy stuff, right? Anyways, I thought that was cool to see. Thought y'all would enjoy that, but not really. Let's get to trading. All right, so let's jump into the NASDAQ or the NAS 100. NAS 100. Okay, so let's see here. So we actually got this alert. And I just didn't see anything, right? When I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, well, on the 5 minute we came in, we barely tapped in. And I did actually want to see it come higher and clear out this particular high here, but it ultimately didn't. And it just fell off the face of the earth. And like I always say, you hear me say that term, but then a week or two later, right, it'll pump up and it'll break this high. So anyways, take it with a grain of salt. But you can see here, we have price come down, right? Then we have price come back up. And we finally have price break down. Now, at this point, I definitely would want to see it come back and retest. So if we're looking at price right now, we're looking at this particular zone. Now, if we go down to the 1 minute, of course, we could probably see some lower time frame candlestick structure, or I guess you could say lower time tick candlestick structure, right? And you could trade that if you really wanted to. That's the advanced way, right? Boom, boom, right? Boom, come back up. Here, let's move this a little bit. And we finally break this low here, right? So now what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for on the 1 minute, we're looking for price to come back up into here somewhere. So price comes down and it comes back up, breaks again, right? And I mean, realistically, if you really wanted to, if I really wanted to, right? You could just say, okay, well, that's a double NB entry. Let's go ahead and take that. And, it was a nice 1-to-1. You could have got that. But what I would have done is I would have actually, as I always do, and I say I'm going to change it, but I don't, which, I like the trade style when I'm looking at the charts. It's fun. And so we look at this and we see, okay, well, 15-second time frame. We have this area right here, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull this over. We have this area right here. Now, what we could have done is we could have went to the 1 minute and we could have said, okay, well, we're inside a very large move up. And now we're starting to finally turn around once we hit the supply zone, right? Because now we should be looking for shorts because that's what our analysis was telling us we should be looking for. Okay, great. So we see this break. Now we're like, okay, well, where's the unmitigated zone here on the 1 minute? Well, we see something like this, right? Never comes up into there. Unfortunately. Dang. So, I mean, technically, you probably would I probably would have been looking for any reason to get short here, right? So then you look at the intermediate candlestick structure, boom, comes down, breaks up one more time, breaks down, right? Comes back and then breaks down. So maybe what I would have ultimately done, knowing me, I would have said NB1, MB2, sell stop. And you might be saying, Brandon, what do you mean by sell stop? Right? What's a sell stop? And I would say, you know, I can't show you right now because I don't have an account open on a broker, unfortunately. But basically, it's uh, price is coming up, and it's starting to come back towards it. So, or excuse me, it moves away, and so you can set a sales stop, and it'll come down, and once it breaks wherever you set the price for that sell stop, once it goes through that price, it'll enter you into the trade. So that would have been a sell stop there. And I mean, yeah, you could have got a nice little chunk off of that, to be just blatant. But I mean, this is where the concept of price being fractal, and you hear this often among technical traders, maybe not so much the fundamentalists who look at all the pricing data. And I really respect those people because they go very much in depth on the different stocks, and they they formulate some particular story and bias based on balance sheets and all these different numbers. And of course, market conditions, right? When we look at the economies as a whole and how these different assets are doing in the economy, I really appreciate what those people do because ultimately, in my opinion, it does hold a lot of weight. But me personally, I've never been a fundamentalist. I've been more of a technical guy. And so when you look at these people and they talk about technical trading, yeah, this is some bacon right here. That's what it is. So then what do we do? Well, let's just go ahead and play. Can we speed 10x? Where's my, there we go. Can we play? No? Dang. Okay, well, never mind then. Guess it just ain't gonna work. All right, so anyways, yeah, you get the sell stop and you have a nice little runner right there. That's a pretty big runner. And anyways, what I was talking about with the fractal markets, right, is that people talk about, the fractal nature of the market, and sometimes they say it, but then they're like, oh, but we only trade off the higher time frames. We're gonna look longer term. We're gonna go up to the 4 hour. We're gonna go up to the 1 month, and okay, all right, guys, let's go. All right, cool. So, Apple is doing bad this year. Okay, let's go ahead and put this trade. This is my trade right here, right? And they're not gonna get out of the trade, right? They're not gonna get out of that short unless it comes all the way back up to all-time highs. Then you're like, huh, wow, that's that risk reward. And this is the importance of knowing risk reward, right? Is because, and look, I'm just joking, y'all. By the way, I'm just joking for you people who trade like that. Keep trading. If you're successful, keep on doing it, right? Lord knows, 99% of traders fail, right? So if you're the 1% that's successful with your particular strategy and you use fundamentals or use a very wide stop loss and you're successful, hey, more power to you. It's a joke. So, anyways, often when you talk to technical traders who, or any of these courses online, that they'll tell you, oh yeah, price is fractal, it's fractal, it's fractal, it's fractal, which means that as above, so below. So on the 4 hour, if I'm looking at the 4 hour, there's similar moves that look like this down here on the 15 minute. And so how much more so on the 5 minute, and how much more so on the 1 minute, and then how much more so on the 5 second, right? So it's fractal because it's just reoccurring over and over. Now, when you start getting lower time frames, these setups happen a lot faster. And then you might say, well, which zones actually hold weight at this particular time frame? And I would tell you, well, you just have to try things. And when I say that, what I ultimately mean is you need to go ahead and test, like I've been testing this last month, right, and posting it, or just keep it to yourself in your journal, or whatever you want to do. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about. And so the reason why I went into this long diatribe with these trade reviews is just so I can highlight the nature that when I'm doing this and I'm looking at these particular moves and what particular trades I would have taken and things of that nature, I want you to know that this is all for the muscle memory in your own mind on your particular strategy, right? So you keep revalidating what your strategy is, you keep testing it over long term, cares what people say? Some people are profitable in 3 months. Some people are profitable in 30 years, right? So if you stick with it, I mean, you'll eventually find that profitability. So anyways, I didn't take any trades yesterday, right? I've been extremely distracted. I've been writing way too much code. Let's go ahead and go to the euro and see what happened though. Okay, so on the euro, we had this demand zone that we wanted to see respected. Obviously, it wasn't respected. And we saw, well, actually, technically, when I was looking at this and this started to happen, it started to just shoot up. And what I wanted to see was it to start to pull back just a bit before taking some buy stop in here, but it never did that. It just continued up. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, well, yeah, no trade, right? And then, of course, as you see, it just fell off the face of the earth yet again. Just crashed 97 cents on the dollar, right? On the dollar. And now it actually did come into the zone that we really wanted to see it come into. So now it's playing around in here, and maybe we'll go ahead and formulate some trade ideas from it. This weekend, though, I promise y'all, I'm going to go ahead and open up another prop firm account so that we can go ahead and start taking these real-time trades again. Right? Because, you know, you can test all you want. And to be fair, most people say you shouldn't. Most people say you should just jump in and you can feel the burn, feel the pain. And I think, yeah, that's viable for sure. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you what, the only times that I get emotionally distraught is when I start adding more to more to these trades. So the size on these particular prop firm accounts, when I increase the size of my trades from 0.25% risk to 1% risk, you know, that definitely makes you feel a certain way. So when you start seeing the numbers go up, you're like, oh snaps, that's crazy. So I think that's one of the bigger ones. But maybe in the beginning, maybe just because I've been doing this for almost a year and a half now, almost 2 years, then maybe it's just a little different. All right, so when we look here at gold, we see it came up. You could argue maybe this is an absorption entry. You could argue that, but you could also argue that this wasn't even a zone. This was kind of like that quote unquote tank strat, and there was actually a 5-minute zone right up here that it actually respected. But we're not going to go there right now. For the basically what I'm saying is you could have found probably something here. Nah, it's iffy because now when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at price action and I'm trying to figure out. There's only a few stops in here, and so we have price on the 1 minute coming down, and it comes all the way up here, right? And it moves sideways, and it finally breaks. It breaks the structure. Okay, so where does this break come from? Somewhere up here. So if I was, it's just, I don't know. It never comes back, right? So it comes down, breaks again, slightly pulls back, breaks again, and it just keeps on falling, right? So for me, yeah, there's just no trade in there for me, which is fine. And the zone that I wanted to ultimately see it hit, it actually wasn't respected. That's good to know. So now we have that data. A minute. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's what happened on gold. It looks like. Oh my goodness. Whoa, what just happened? Look at that. Bitcoin. What does it look like on the hourly? Look at that. Oh my goodness, y'all. Sheesh. All right, so what we were actually wanted to see, we wanted to see this as a demand zone to go higher, but it actually tore right through it, came back, reboinked it, and just dropped off, which is actually fascinating to see. Yeah, look at that. Look at that dump. That's a long candle, man. But it's not as long as these candles over here on the up move. So look at this price action. It just does not look delicious at all. It just looks janky. So anyways, that was the trade reviews, y'all. I hope you enjoyed my little rant on fractal markets and continuing to stick with a particular strategy and ultimately just collecting the data, reviewing the data, making changes, and trading. So anyways, That's the trade review for 10/21/22. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hit them comments, hit that like button, and of course hit the subscribe button. And let's get after it, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.